All right, everybody, how is it going? It's Monday evening. It's time for Living Force. We're talking visions. We're talking a lot of new books. I'm a little warm, but that's okay, because Wes is going to punch it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Living Force, a Utini Network podcast, all about the books we love and the people we love even more. I'm one of your hosts, Eric Eilerson, and joining me tonight are a full cast of wonderful characters. But before I introduce them, we want to remind all of you joining us live, one, you're great, and two, please like the video. And if you're watching this later, put a like on there. It helps the analytics. Share it with your friends. It helps the analytics even more. See, Andrew, I did it. But now, to the other crazy characters we got here, we have Mr. Newly Beard, Dr. Corey Helton.
Newly
Hey,
beard,
Daddy.
not a newly beard. I actually don't like anybody else on this show.
I give you that setup, and that's what you do with it. I lofted a softball, and you bunted. All right, next up, we got the guy who finally plugged in his computer, Dr. Charles Hankel. Hey, sir.
Yeah, hey, my computer's plugged in. I'm running low on battery. Personally, it has been a day. Hasn't it just been a day? I don't know. We're here.
It has been a day, but luckily we are joined by my personal battery, the one that gives me the energy, the one that fills my life, Wes Jenkins.
Hello, everyone. I had the day off today, and you know what I did? I worked. I worked for my company on my day off all day today.
Why would you do that?
now,
Don't do that.
You know,
Worked for free.
sort of. No, not really. But anyways, that's what I did. And I hear the Red Sox are playing. They had a 3-run home run. Great. That's great. I only want the Red Sox to win so the Astros can play them and ruin their World Series hopes. So yay, go Emma and your team.
There we go. I love playoffs in the Utini world because the couple sports figures just rise to the top and it gets super intense. Love it. Hope that whatever team you're rooting for in the playoffs of the baseball, it's not the World Series. What are they? Is it just called the playoffs? The baseball
Yes.
playoffs? Okay, it's not called like the
Right now, it's called the ALDS.
ALDS.
And the
Right.
NLDS.
I don't know why you put
the
me in this four square. I don't know
Division
shit.
series, because I want to see what your face looks like when we start talking about sports. Your eyes just get
Oh,
big and
you
you
know,
get completely
just
silent.
whatever. Like, you know.
All right. Go White Sox. All right. So a couple things today. Today is actually a very special day for a lot of reasons, and we want to start off by saying Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, Happy National Coming Out Day, and Happy Day of the Girl. There's a lot of days going on right now, and we want to say if you are a member of any of those communities, we love you. I know that it's a tough day for a lot of people in those communities because they are days of remembrance for hard times in the past and hard times in the present, but I hope that everyone in the Utini community and the world at large is doing better at recognizing these folks for the amazing folks that they are. And a special thing on National Coming Out Day to all of our friends that maybe don't feel safe coming out just yet. That's okay. Know that we love you. Know that this community loves you. And whenever you're ready to show everyone who you truly are, we will be here. So happy day to all of you. We love you a lot. Another thing now, we want to say congratulations to Emma Candon, the first-time published author as of tomorrow, because, folks, tomorrow, Star Wars Ronin, a Visions novel, is officially released out into the world, and, yo, we got content coming your way. We got a written review on Utini.com. We have a video review on the Utini YouTube channel. We have a interview with Emma on our podcast platforms. Yeah,
Yes.
our podcast platforms. And we also have a recorded video interview with us and Emma, all about their experience writing Ronin. It is, guys, how would you describe our interview with Emma Cannon? I think it's one of the
Oh,
coolest
man.
things we've literally ever done.
One of the most fun interviews by far we've ever done. She is a gem, let me tell you.
Mwah!
Absolutely.
So
Off the
down to
wall.
earth.
Yeah.
We talked about so much stuff I didn't necessarily expect to get into.
Yeah,
it was
right.
Yeah.
surprising but fun and educational. Dang
Yes.
it.
Yeah. We learned that all of our college classes sucked because Emma's college classes sound awesome.
Yeah.
So,
So check out the interview for sure.
yes, pick up Ronin. Either start reading it right away, or you can listen to our interviews first. They will be spoiler-free, as will the reviews. So don't worry about getting any spoilers. Check out Utini content. Celebrate Ronin. Go into the Discord channel. Hang out with everyone. Tell them where you are. Book release days are the best at Utini, so can't wait for tomorrow. And finally, if you need a little more Ronin, tonight, literally at this exact second, there is a Nerdist panel going on the Nerdist YouTube channel with our buddy Tom from Del Rey, with Matt Martin from Story Group, and Emma talking all about Ronin. And I believe that's being recorded, so stay there. Don't leave us. I mean, you can if you want. We get it. But if you want to stay, watch our live show. That should be posted on the Nerdist YouTube channel after. I will definitely be checking that out. Cannot wait. Happy Ronin week. Now, the opposite of happiness, though, is the Utini fantasy update. Everybody, everything sucks. All I feel is pain. I don't understand how I'm so bad at something I love so much. But I do want to give a congratulations to our very own, our Emma Park, different than Emma Cannon, but also amazing and awesome. Emma is beating the snot out of me this week and has beaten me. All our players are done. And Emma, you, on the heels of Tom Brady and DK Metcalf, got the most points of our league this week. Congratulations. God, it sucks. It really, I'm so bad. But I also want to say congrats to our very own Timothy Guthrie, who after tonight's Monday Night Football matchup may overtake Emma. Emma, I'm conflicted. I want to root for you to keep the title, but also you're embarrassing me in front of the Wizards. So I don't know if I want you to win. So yeah, there's that. Emma's gonna be 4-1. I'm gonna be 1-4. Wes, are you doing any better?
Ooh.
How are you doing?
Well, I still have Lamar Jackson to play tonight, and I've already won, so I could bench him, and I already won. So Jay Carson.
Oh yeah, our buddy Jay.
New Republic Patriots. You are 4-0 as of today. Tomorrow you will be 4-1. Enjoy.
I love that. Yeah, the Christian McCaffrey injury really hurt a lot, but that's our Utini fantasy update. Wes, congrats. Emma, congrats. I really hope I know how to play this game eventually, and Dalvin Cook is ever not hurt. All right, moving on to our Patreon update. Thank you to all of our lovely patrons, including our new patron, Matt Billington. It just sounds like a cool name to say. So Matt Billington, thank you for joining our Patreon, because Matt has put us over the threshold, everyone, of the Attack of the Clones commentary. That's right. We hit our next Patreon goal. Incredible. Thank you all so much. Thank you. You're the reason that literally everything happens on this website. The reason servers don't crash. We don't crash ever, like Facebook used to, am I right? But yeah, you all will, by the end of the month-ish, be getting the four of us talking about Attack of the Clones, which is why I'm wearing this shirt tonight. And Corey, this is what you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for us to watch Attack of the Clones for months.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say, quite frankly, I never thought we would be at this level of Patreon support. I mean, we're like coming up on $1,000, which is absolutely insane. I mean, we're gonna be able to buy plane tickets to Celebration. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, are we, Corey?
No, not for you. Not for you. Maybe for someone else, but not for you. Yeah. I mean, this is really exciting. I mean, Attack of the Clones, this has a special place in my heart. I can't wait to laugh at the cringiness, to make fun of the horrible lines between Hayden Christensen, and I can't wait. It's gonna be a blast. Like, there's so much to love, there's so much to hate, and it's gonna be so much fun. Like, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I want to see if nobody says anything when Natalie Portman runs after she falls off the gunship.
It's amazing. It's a hero.
I will never forget. When I was a kid, I saw that movie. I have a vivid memory of this. The entire theater erupted in laughter when she fell. Then she pauses for a minute, and that guy runs through. He's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good. Let's go." It literally, the entire theater erupted in laughter, and I didn't get it as a kid. I was like, "What's so funny? I don't understand." And that has been burned in my brain for years, and now I get it, and it's hilarious.
But I'm excited to watch it because if y'all on Patreon listen to our Phantom Menace commentary, we all somehow learn new things about that movie watching it together. And actually did find a lot of parts that we now loved even more. And I think Attack of the Clones will watch them with your best friends. It can't not get better. We are huge fans, obviously, of all the movies, but this is going to be a special one, especially with Hayden being back in the news so much lately because of Obi-Wan. Like, dude is on the circuit. He was at NYCC. He was on the Empire State Building. Like, dude is living his life.
Hayden's back. He's getting a lot of recognition now, which is really, really great. And you know, we don't have to like reconfirm that we love Star Wars because you guys know that, like, we love it. We don't have true negative things to say. There's things to love and dislike about everything. And Attack of the Clones is at the bottom of most people's lists, and we have to acknowledge that fact. And there's a reason for that. So it's gonna be really fun. Really fun to watch.
Blast.
Like I can't wait. I can't wait.
So keep an eye out. By the end of the month, we're going to get together and do that. It's my fault that it's coming in late because I, again, am going on vacation for my birthday in about a week and a half. So I am delaying that. But once I get back, we're going to watch Attack of the Clones together. And as a reminder, if you are on Patreon now, you will get access to that when we upload it. But if you join later, in a month, in a year, you get access to everything we've ever put on Patreon. So if money's a little tight right now, no big deal. Or if you want to just like subscribe for a month and binge everything and binge all the commentaries, go for it. We love you anyway. All right. Now it's time for quite a thick boy dense Star Wars Weekly Roundup.
It's the Star Wars Weekly Roundup.
Yes, it is. Because y'all, the High Republic has been amazing. And I love everything about it. And the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, it's been really great. Love everything about it. The Queen's Hope Peril trilogy, the Padme trilogy, has been great. Love everything about it. But you know what I forgot? There's other Star Wars books that get made. And we got a weird out of actual nowhere announcement on Thursday that broke us all mentally and spiritually. We got 4 new books announced, y'all. We got 2 adult novels and a YA and a
where?
What?
And from what corner? Where did this even come from? Like I just remember Slack was blowing up and everybody's like freaking out about something. And usually that either means one of 2 things. It means they just dropped some crazy news that no one was expecting, or something horrible happened. And like the website is like been replaced by a copyright strike from Disney. I don't know, like. Something bad.
Don't say the D word on stream.
It's like an April Fool's type announcement, you know, when you hear, you're like, The Sopranos is back, and then you're like, oh, is it April 1st? It's April 1st. Forget this article.
Exactly.
No, but this is real.
It's incredible. We got 4 novels. So what we're going to do for the Star Wars Weekly Roundup, we're going to go through each of them. We're going to tell you what they are, who it's by, when it's coming. And then we're just going to read the synopsis we got and show you the amazing cover, not finals, that were released. So I'm sorry, I had to. Guys, who wants to take, because Charles, you got a couple ones that I'm going to let you choose from, but who wants to talk about Shadows of the Sith? And
I got it pulled up here. I can talk.
Go for it, man. Tell them what this is, who it's by, and read that beautiful synopsis.
Cool. I got that screen share pulled up too, and you think it's appropriate, Wes. Yeah, so Shadow of the Sith by Adam Christopher, releasing on June 28th in 2022. Now, remember, guys, Adam Christopher is who was going to do the Mandalorian book, correct? Right? That's who he was, right? Yes.
I feel like he wrote the entire thing. Is the vibes I got, and then it got shelved.
Yes, I feel like it is in existence somewhere, and it conflicted with season 2, maybe. I don't know. Something weird happened with the Mandalorian book, and it never was released. It was set for release.
Maybe
they announced
some characters were very prominent that maybe they didn't want to put on the show anymore. I don't know.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Who knows?
So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Regardless, point is, he's getting a Star Wars book, and it sounds awesome. So, here's the summary. Essentially, Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian return in this essential novel set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. The Empire is dead. Nearly 2 decades on from the Battle of Endor, the tattered remnants of Palpatine's forces have fled to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. But for the heroes of the New Republic, danger and loss are ever-present companions, even in this newly forged era of peace. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker is haunted by visions of the dark side, foretelling an ominous. I almost said omnibus. I'm so used to saying
An
that.
omnibus.
Foretelling an omnibus, finally, of the Poe Dameron comic, which has still not been written. Foretelling an ominous secret growing somewhere in the depths of space on a dead world called Exegol. The disturbance in the Force is undeniable, and Luke's worst fears are confirmed when his old friend Lando Calrissian comes to him with reports of a new Sith menace. After his daughter was stolen from his arms, Lando searched the stars for any trace of his lost child. But every new rumor led only to dead ends and fading hopes until he crossed paths with Ochi of Bestoon, a Sith assassin tasked with kidnapping a young girl. Ochi's true motives remain shrouded to Luke and Lando, for on a junkyard moon, a mysterious envoy of the Sith Eternal has bequeathed a sacred blade to the assassin, promising that it will give him answers to the questions that have haunted him since the Empire fell. In exchange, he must complete a final mission. Return to Exegol, the key to the Sith's glorious rebirth, the granddaughter of Darth Sidious himself, Rey. As Ochi hunts Rey and her parents to the edge of the galaxy, Luke and Lando race into the mystery of the Sith's lingering shadow and aid a young family running for their lives. Welcome to the fray, Adam Christopher. You get to write possibly the most important book that has yet been written about new Star Wars canon. Holy smokes. There is so much in this.
Yeah.
Wes, I know you have to be bouncing off the walls. This is Rey's origin story, right? I mean,
trying to mend and intertwine all these wires to get us from Return of the Jedi all the way to I guess The Last Jedi and then to The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, that's an important step. I mean, did they give it to him because they were apologetic about ruining his first book, or
Dude,
this is the guy?
I have no idea, but I mean,
Wes, I thought wasn't Disney gonna retcon all the sequels?
no, shut up. No, absolutely
I
not.
read a tweet.
Tweet.
From a source. No, not at all. Yeah, I'm super thrilled because again, this is if this is what you're saying it is, or what we're thinking it is, it's Rey's origin story, and does this like, God, I don't want to get into it.
Does this
mean that Luke knew about Rey before?
Oh my God, I hadn't even thought about that. That's crazy.
Jedi?
I don't know,
maybe.
man. I don't know. This is wild, but this certainly looks like it's going to have the potential to explain a lot of the plot holes that we kind of had a problem with in The Rise of Skywalker, me especially. So,
Well, and it's especially interesting because one, this is the first Luke content post Return of the Jedi that we get other than like, you know, his little bit in the Battlefront 2 game.
yeah.
But like the first book,
wow.
comic, anything of Luke other than him training Ben, like this is Luke. This is a Luke book, which is also amazing. And Adam Christopher tweeted out the day of release, bless his heart, things were going crazy. He said 3 things. One, his biggest influences were Revenge of the Sith by Matthew Stover, the X-Wing series by Michael Stackpole, and Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule, which are 3 absolutely incredible books. He also says it is set in 21 ABY, and he says, I hope you like lightsabers as much as I do.
Oh my God. So this is arguably, I know we're like super jacked about this. We've been talking about it for like 10 minutes already, but like this is arguably the biggest announcement that has ever happened in canon. Like, and hear me out, all right? When Legends was at like peak Legends, we're talking Timothy Zahn, Heir to the Empire, you know, early mid-90s when the Legends books were flying off the shelves, right? They were so successful because they told the continuation of the films, which have the largest audience, right? So no books have touched any of that stuff since canon has been a thing in 2012 when Disney bought Star Wars, right? They have intentionally sort of avoided it to not step on the toes of the content creators that are making the films, right? So
let the saga finish out.
this is a direct continuation of things that we saw happen in the sequel trilogy, which has not yet been done. All right, we had Resistance Reborn, which is pretty close, but still adjacent enough that it doesn't feel like it. This is like multiple characters that are in the films, multiple plot points that are going to have to be explained. This is an expansion of the universe that we see in the films, which is like, this is why we are here, people. I don't know how to say it any more clearly.
That's what
like,
we do.
Yes, it's just, this is a huge announcement. I'm so jacked for this.
And the fact that they trusted him so much to give him this story, 'cause like you said, it is huge. And like Ochia Bastoon, for fans of the comic, has been showing up in the Vader comic lately, and Exegol has been a thing. And like they're taking a lot of story points that have been controversial within the fan community and saying, no, this is the story. We're going to continue it and expand it and make it awesome, which is what which is what Clone Wars did for the prequels. It's what we've been asking for forever. So I agree. I can't wait. It's coming out again in June. So we got a little bit to wait for it. But when it happens, we will be out of the High Republic Wave 3. So that'll have died down a little bit, and we'll get to jump right into some just straight up Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, Rey adventures, and I'm amazed. It's gonna be so fun.
I feel like if anything, this would be the book that they drop like the first chapter or two, like in February for Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, please. Also, a little get off that screen. This show's not over. Wes, come on.
My mouse just smacked down. Sorry about that.
That's all right. But also, fun fact: this comes out in. No, never mind. This is a different book. This is the next book we're going to talk about. You know what? I want to say a thing, but Charles, tell us about that business on Cato Neimoidia for our next book here.
Yes.
Excellent transition.
So, Brotherhood by Mike Chen is releasing on May 10th, 2022. And the synopsis reads like this: Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker must stem the tide of the raging Clone Wars and forge a new bond as Jedi Knights. Be still my beating heart. Sorry, that was me. That's not in the summary. It continues. The Clone Wars have begun. Battle lines are being drawn throughout the galaxy. With every world that joins the Separatists, the peace guarded by the Jedi Order is slipping through their fingers. After an explosion devastates Cato Neimoidia, the jewel of the Trade Federation, the Republic is blamed and the fragile neutrality of the planet is threatened. The Jedi dispatch Obi-Wan Kenobi, one of the Order's most gifted diplomatic minds, to investigate the crime and maintain the balance that has begun to dangerously shift. As Obi-Wan investigates with the help of a heroic Neimoidian guard, he finds himself working against the Separatists who hope to draw the planet into their conspiracy, and senses the sinister hand of Asajj Ventress in the mists that cloak the planet. Amid the brewing chaos, Anakin Skywalker rises to the rank of Jedi Knight. Despite the mandate that Obi-Wan travel alone and his former master's insistence that he listen this time, Anakin's headstrong determination means nothing can stop him from crashing the party and bringing along a promising but conflicted youngling. Once a Padawan to Obi-Wan, Anakin now finds himself on equal but uncertain footing with the man who raised him. The lingering friction between them increases the danger for everyone around them. The two knights must learn a new way to work together, and they must learn quickly to save Cato Neimoidia and its people from the fires of war. To overcome the threat they face, they must grow beyond master and apprentice. They must stand together as brothers.
Oh my God.
Thoughts,
Wow.
Charles?
So, I mean, my first thought is these synopses are, or these like summaries, these plugs are really well written in and of themselves.
Yeah.
That got me super jacked up. Anything Anakin, Obi-Wan, Clone Wars era, give it to me. I will read absolutely any of it.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, this is beyond all this. Obviously, I love Obi-Wan. I love this time period. I love all this stuff. It's going to answer questions that we've all always talked about. It's going to be the canon answer to what doesn't count that happens on Cato Neimoidia, right?
Because you know what? I bet it does.
Yeah, I bet it does too.
Yeah.
And then there's I think it's interesting because beyond Obi-Wan and Anakin, obviously, and going to Cato Neimoidia, which is fun. This unnamed Padawan or youngling that's coming along with Anakin, like who might that be? Is that someone that we know? That could be really interesting. But it's funny because other than the first book that we talked about, this book and the others to me almost feel Legendsy, and I say that as a compliment because some of these stories are almost or are stories that were told in Legends actually in some of the books. And this obviously is going to be very different. It's going to be the canon story about what happened. But this, I feel like you could have read this on the back of a Legends novel that came out, in the early thousands and not batted an eye.
Yeah. And I mean, like Dark Disciple, which I think is the only other canon Clone Wars novel now, is like such a favorite of ours. And it's when it comes up and I was like, oh yeah, that was so good. And we get more Asajj Ventress in this book as well. And it's like, I think they're so smart to do this because number one, obviously the Obi-Wan series coming out, they want to tie in some Obi-Wan content, but also we all saw the numbers that got released about Clone Wars season 7, and they're like, oh man, okay, okay, right, let's do that, and it's. This was the most surprising of the bunch for me, I think, because I guess I don't expect any more Clone Wars content other than the movies. Like,
Yeah, me
what
either.
a swing!
And can we talk about the title of the book, Brotherhood, and the fact that the last line of the synopsis, they must stand together as brothers? Like,
Because he was his brother, Anakin.
dude, this is gonna be a heavy hitting novel. I feel
Yeah.
like. I mean,
I'm already sad, man. I'm already in my sad boy feeling.
If what happens in this book is so impactful that the claim is that this is like how they became brothers.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I know. Like, I mean, just that this whole line about lingering friction between them is going to danger everybody around. They must learn the way to work together. Like, this is going to be really, really intense. And, you know, stepping back, big picture for a second here, both this book and the previous one are like, this is huge, big picture stuff for canon. Like, they're taking risk and filling story points that Maya could have been told another way. So they're taking them off the table, essentially, right? So,
Yep.
you know, that makes the stakes really high for me whenever we're getting direct extensions of that.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact in Legends, that business on Cato Nemoida, do you guys ever know? Do you know about this? You ever heard about this? There's a book in Legends. I forget exactly what book it is. I'm sure somebody in the comments can probably tell us. Where they go to Cato Nemoidia and like Obi-Wan like accidentally opens like a crate full of drugs and gets hit in the face with like LSD basically, and he's like high off his mind, and Anakin has to like, and he's like slurring his words and he can't fight, and he's like trying to give Anakin a hug and like kiss him on the cheek and stuff, and like
Is this
he's
the
just
approaching storm? Is that what
super.
it is?
I don't know. He's super drunk though, basically. And
wow.
he's like tripping balls and like seeing stuff, and Anakin has to like carry him to the ship. And that's the reference. That business
right.
on Cato Nemoidia doesn't count because
I need
he's
something
embarrassed
like that.
about it. It's fantastic. It's hilarious.
Something.
Yeah.
I also have this nerdy part of my brain that's a dumb thing to say. It's all nerdy brain. But the already artful part of my brain, I guess I'll say, is that we're gonna get probably cover art with Obi-Wan and Anakin in Clone Wars garb, I would guess. And I wonder, are they gonna do like more Hayden and Ewan like looks, or are they gonna do a little more towards the animations? Like, we've seen fan art of like Ewan and Hayden in Clone Wars stuff, but nothing's ever been official. And I'm like, the cover art for the books the last couple of years has just been gorgeous. So I can't wait to see how that looks on the shelf.
Corey, is it Labyrinth of Evil by Lucino that you love so much?
I think it might be Labyrinth of Evil.
Is
That
it really?
does sound
Yeah.
something complicated. That he was
Grievous in
right.
that.
It does. It does.
I think it's what it is. Okay.
Beautiful. But of course, that's not
about-
the. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I got so confused by Labyrinth of Evil. I wanted to bring up one other thing.
Do it.
It says in this, I almost choked up. When I read this. Equal but uncertain footing with the man who raised him.
I know, man. I know.
Going for it.
It's just there's a lot of really heavy themes that are in this little short synopsis that like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if people when they announce I haven't realized this until just now that we're discussing it together, but like this is huge for the relationship of Anakin and Obi-Wan. I've always wondered what that was like. What was early Anakin knighthood like? Like I've always wondered that.
Because they say here, like I think within this book, if I'm reading this correctly, we're gonna see his ascension to Jedi Knight. Like
That's kinda how it
Obi-Wan's
seems.
probably gonna be like by what is it? By the will of the Force, by the will of the Council. Like Obi-Wan might literally knight Anakin
Oh
in
my
this
god.
Oh,
Dude.
yeah, they're solidifying
imagine?
the relationship in this.
I'm gonna
They're
really
they're putting that
God, I'm getting
relationship
misty, man.
foundation.
this is nuts, dude. This
Like
is so nuts.
imagine the audiobook of Ewan McGregor knighting Anakin Skywalker. Like
Oh, with Ewan's voice and Hayden
Hayden
Christensen's
Christensen.
voice.
well, and also
Yes.
what I was gonna
And
say
also
on the
they
last
read it
one.
to me personally. Oh man.
Hey man, everything has a price. Also, though, for all of us that are going to be at Celebration, this book release might time out pretty well with the con exclusive cover. So I don't know. That could be pretty cool.
May
Yeah.
10th. That is that's true.
It's right around there.
Ooh, okay, we got a few more to get through. Holy smokes.
Yep. Two more. Wes, tell us about the YA offering that we're getting.
The YA offering. So it's Padawan by Kirsten White, releasing July 26, 2022. Obi-Wan Kenobi struggles with his place in the Force as a young Padawan in this coming of age adventure. So this is what, episode 1 before episode 1 timing?
Yep, a little before episode 1, I believe.
And so Obi-Wan Kenobi really wants to be a good Padawan, the best Padawan even, but that's feeling more and more impossible with his new master, Qui-Gon Jinn. All of Obi-Wan's friends are off training to be real Jedi, getting mission experience, while he's still on Coruscant, practicing his forms and sitting in silent contemplation. Ever since Qui-Gon's former master, Dooku, left the Order, it feels like Qui-Gon has been too busy trying to connect with the Force or arguing with the Jedi Council to properly train his Padawan. When Obi-Wan finally convinces Qui-Gon to take him on a mission to a remote planet once explored by an ancient Jedi, his master doesn't show up the morning they are to leave. So Obi-Wan impulsively takes off by himself. Upon arriving on the mysterious lush planet, he encounters a group of teenagers with no adult supervision and who all seem to have some connection to the Force. Free from the constraints of the Order, Obi-Wan joins them in their daring adventures, but the Padawan side of him keeps questioning the teens' strange relationship to the Force and to the verdant planet around them, and what all of it might mean to his future. Obi-Wan will test the limits of his relationship to the Jedi and to the Force in this exciting yet soulful exploration of one of the Star Wars' most enduring heroes. So that sounds to me like teenage angst, and we've all been through that. Yeah.
A little bit.
Dude, that's one of my
very
favorite
important
Spotify
thing.
playlists right now. It's called Teen Angst.
I'm adding it right now. But also, Kirsten White did say on Twitter, very important, this is before Mandalore, so this is before Obi-Wan Satine. So this is not the Obi-Wan Satine book. She was like, I know you're all going to ask me. That is not the angst in this book.
Okay.
You know,
that just sounds great.
Angela said in the chat that she has some hesitations about this book, and I can kind of feel that a little bit. Like
Him running off on his own.
it sounds a little interesting. It does
He's
sound
a
like
little rule follower.
it does. Yes, that's right. It does sound like it might be a little too hard, like trying at the young adult genre, right? You know, sometimes they can swing too hard at young adult, and it comes across as kind of cheesy to adults.
Yeah.
So
Maybe this is how he learns to be a rule follower, because he goes to the beach where they're all like doing drugs and listening to hippie music, and he's like, I don't know, man.
That's what it sounds like to me. Something scared him
Dad,
straight.
can you come pick me up?
right, they'll have a connection to the Force, and then they're actually all Sith, and they're like
exactly.
You know, they're shooting Force lightning in between shooting up heroin. So
They're boiling
exactly
they're boiling pots and stuff with Sith lightning, and they're like, but this is how we boil water on this planet. Obi-Wan.
Sith lightning.
I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I think because I think it'll be cool, because this book comes out in July, so it's later on in the year. We don't know if Obi-Wan is coming out earlier next year or later. So I think it'll be interesting getting two pieces of media that are essentially Obi-Wan kind of on his own, because we assume the show is going to be a little hermit Obi-Wan as he's older. So now we get Obi-Wan on his own when he's younger, and I wonder if there's going to be any interplay with that of being like, what happens when he goes off? Like, what did he learn from being a street youth? Schmidt.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Again, it's a little more vague than the other two,
Right.
but who knows?
Anything
It'll be
goes
interesting.
in a YA novel.
Yes. There's gonna be some
Anything
smooching.
goes
There's
off.
gonna be some kissing. Maybe Obi-Wan does some kissing. I don't know. He definitely could.
That will make me very uncomfortable. Let me see.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so that one's coming out. Adult novel YA. And then we finish off with one last entry that we got, which is going to be a middle grade anthology called The Stories of Jedi and Sith. This is releasing on June 7th. And it has a bunch of authors, which we'll get to in a second. It just says, the brave Jedi, the devious Sith. These iconic heroes and villains embody the struggle between light and dark that is at the very heart of Star Wars. In this exciting middle grade anthology, 10 acclaimed authors imagine all new tales for some of the saga's most popular characters, from Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader, from Obi-Wan Kenobi to Asajj Ventress and beyond, complete with beautiful spot illustrations. Epic standoffs, cunning plots, courageous action, and ruthless anger are all here in this showcase of the enduring power of one of the greatest movie sagas of all time, including stories by Roseanne A. Brown, Sarat Chada, Delilah S. Dawson, Tessa Gratton, Michael Cogg, Sam Maggs, Michael Marici, Alex Segura, Vera Strange, Karen Strong, with illustrations by Jake Bartok, fan favorite, who does a lot of great art on Twitter, but now he gets an official thing. So like, it's fun. It's like the Clone Wars book, but they're all new stories. So I don't know. That was a fun book. I think this will be fun.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
I like those books. I like these. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I like these nightstand readers where you can just put one away right before you go to bed and just keep, chopping away at it. And it's a good toilet book, right?
I'm gonna say, now that we're on TikTok on the toilet, you got to put it on the bedroom stand. I get it. Do want to give a shout out here. Thank you for this in the outline. All these covers we got were by the same wonderful cover artist, Cover Not Final, and Matt Martin of the Story Group did have a phenomenal tweet of saying, "Oh yeah, this is the new Cover Not Final series." So Matt, thank you for clearing that up.
I have it actually pulled up and just.
Oh my God, do you?
I didn't think I had it ready. That's why I put it in the notes or whatever. So.
Oh my gosh, pull it up.
This was hilarious. So Matt Martin tweeted out exciting new Star Wars book news: Luke and Lando looking for Exegol, Clone Wars Obi-Wan and Anakin, an anthology about Jedi and Sith, and young Obi-Wan. Which are you most excited about? To which Anthony Carboni from the Star Wars show, he tweeted, "Hi Matt, could you please tell us if these are all final?" And of note, Matt posted the pictures, and they're all these covers that have this giant Cover Not Final logo across them. And Anthony says, "Hi Matt, could you please tell me if these covers are final?" And then Matt Martin replied, "I think you may be confused. These are 4 books in the Cover Not Final series," which was one of the funniest things I've ever seen happen between random Star Wars people on Twitter, which really made me laugh. So
We love you guys.
That series seems to keep getting canceled.
Bigger,
like,
yeah,
right
I
before.
know.
keeps getting canceled right before it's released. It's like, yeah, I know.
Typical.
Or they change the covers last minute. What's up with that?
What's canon anymore? We don't even know. But of course, everyone. So all those books now are live. Pre-orders are live on the Utini new release schedule because Frank is amazing. So go over to the Utini new release schedule, get all those pre-orders in through whatever service you would like to use. And of course, while you're there, hopefully you already got Ronin, because again, if you don't pre-order, guys, the supply chain will make it very difficult to get these books secondhand. So just get those pre-orders in if you want these books physically early. But you can also pre-order, as of now, still Thrawn Ascendancy, Lesser Evil, which is coming on November 16th. We got a month. And we can say it now. The next book after that is The High Republic Fallen Star on January 4th. So it's going to come before we know it. Get them in.
That's right.
Just sleep all at night knowing that you're getting Star Wars books, all right?
The Padme book got delayed. Don't forget.
Yes, till April.
Right. Yep.
So if you already pre-ordered it, it just got moved around. That's coming April 5th. So
yeah, and we talked with Emma Camden a little bit about she works for a publishing company, and she told us a little bit about the that's right. She told us a little bit about the publishing delays and stuff, and that's real, right? I mean, they're like
so real.
Books are not going to get printed for a couple months, I think. So you better get those pre-orders in. I hope we get our copies, Eric. What are we gonna do? If some of us can't get our. I guess we'll just have to share the book or something. I don't know.
I'll just be sad.
I'll do a Zoom call with the camera like pointed down at my book, and I'll be like, I'm gonna read it at my normal speed, and you guys just have to keep up. I'm sorry. So
that's not possible for any of you that ever know.
You're like, wait, I'm not done yet.
Well, folks, if you want to read those books, get them in. If you want Corey to read them to you, everything has a price.
That's right.
But before we get to, wow. We're going to run long tonight. Deal with it. We love you all. We're going to talk about some Star Wars Visions now. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break. Tell you all about the awesome Utini shows that are live every single week. And when we get back, we're talking full spoilers about The Ninth Jedi. Be right back.
Darth Vader lightsaber lamp, and I just like... I just knocked over everything in my office so I could get this into the camera shot. I knocked one of the posters off the wall.
Anderson cover. I have heard the Anderson cover described by some friends of mine as one of their least favorite least favorite Legends covers, and I don't totally know why. Maybe it's just because Depa Balaba has this dead stare in the background.
You know what it is?
Emma, what is your art of the week this week?
Yeah, so I don't have anything as dark and depressing as that corpse, but
Welcome back, everyone, and Corey made it. Oh, welcome back, man. And welcome back to all of you who are still watching. I'm going to do another thing that Wes told me to do earlier. If you didn't earlier, make sure you like the video that you're watching. If you like it. If you don't,
Just
sorry,
give it a thumbs down. It does the same thing. So whatever.
Wes!
Just
Wes! No!
Don't
Oh
ever
my-
tell people
What?
to do that. What's wrong with you?
All right. Anyway, if y'all missed our show last week, we did talk about the first 4 episodes of Star Wars Visions, and we talked about ones that really hit us in a nice way, and other ones we didn't like maybe as much. So this week we're gonna finish up season 1. I'll say. I don't know, because who knows? With the next
let's
5
be
episodes.
And we're already 40 minutes into the episodes. I mean, we can just sum it up really fast. I mean, there's a couple good ones, a couple bad ones. I mean, I think it's the end of the show, guys. I mean,
All
like,
right,
what else do
everyone,
we have
thank
to
you to
say?
all our patrons. Charles, get back in the camera, you tall, you giant.
Oh man,
Charles
Yeah,
just
how
dunked a
much taller I
basketball.
was than Corey when we both did.
Oh my god! I'm gonna like wear platform shoes or some shit the first time we all meet. I swear to
Please
That's
wear
something
platform shoes.
As long as they're Star Wars, man. All right. Starting off tonight, our first episode we want to talk about, again, last time we're going to say it, full spoilers ahead. So if you haven't watched it, here we go. The first episode we're going to talk about is episode 5, The Ninth Jedi. This was created by Production IG. This features a couple of familiar faces like Simu Liu, who is Shang-Chi as La, and Masaoka, who is from Heroes, a hero from Heroes, if you guys watched that show in the early aughts, as Ethan. And this says the following. The daughter of a lightsaber smith is pursued by dark forces while on a dangerous mission. And do we have a poster for that? I believe. I think I put them up there. Let's show the cute people the poster. Maybe not. Who's to say?
That's not it. Wes.
Nope. That's not it.
Here it is. Here it is.
That's not it.
Oh shit! Oh no!
That's
oh,
not
no.
it.
What? These are not in order. What the hell? Here it is.
Well, we'll see where we can get it.
I
Here
got
we
it now.
go.
Here we go. Here we
All
go.
right. The Ninth Jedi. This beautiful poster. If y'all are on the audio, if you haven't seen this yet, StarWars.com has all of these. I love this poster because it's a very kind of soft poster, all about our main character kind of holding this lightsaber in a glowing blue light. And I think it really shows the kind of tender nature of the Force,
Yeah.
even though it's an episode that gets pretty freaking intense.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
This I haven't seen this cover before. This is pretty.
It's super
Yeah.
good. So do you remember in this episode, the God, what was his name? The there was an
master
M.
guy?
Yeah, the master.
I think that was La.
Like the sword master
Law.
guy.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
the main guy.
Yeah, the main guy. Well, he sends out these beacons to Jedi to come to this temple,
Margrave.
right?
It was the
Margrave, the Margrave.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I didn't count 7 Jedi. They were there outside of. There should have been 7 Jedi, and then the young boy, and then this is the 9th Jedi, the one in this poster here holding the lightsaber. I counted 6.
Well,
Was
it's 'cause
I?
Margrave is
off?
one, isn't it?
Margrave is the Jedi.
There we go, Wes. Okay.
Damn!
There
We
it
got
is.
there.
All right, there's 9. Okay, thank you.
And hey, speaking of 9, let's go around and give our 1 to 10s as we did last time, which
That's right.
I will
forgot-
start with.
I forgot we did that.
Me too,
I'm
because
like,
that's
I'm
why
like
it took me a while.
twitching and hitting all kinds of buttons in this
I'm gonna
stream
have to
right now. I'm
remember.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember what I scored stuff last week to make sure this week is appropriate.
It's all fake. So I'll start off. I'm gonna give this one.
This podcast
Means
doesn't actually
nothing.
matter, Charles.
It's all fake. Come on, it's all space. I'm gonna go 9.6 on this one. Charles, you're thinking for a while. So Corey, what do you got?
10.
10, baby. Yes.
I love this one. This is by far my favorite. I've been jacked to talk about it.
Wes, what do you got?
This is my second favorite, so I'm going to give it a 9.3.
So that's like a 3 to you, huh?
Yeah.
That's right. All right, Charles.
Doesn't make any sense. It's a 9.3. It means it's really freaking good. Charles.
This was also my favorite. I'm gonna give it a perfect 10 because there's not a second of it I would change.
Yes.
Oh.
Doctors
All right.
unite, Charles.
I'm gonna up it to a 9.9, and we'll see what happens now.
It's a normal thing that we do.
So our 2 10s, Corey. This was your favorite.
Yeah.
Preach.
Okay, so there's a lot to love about this story. First of all, the story itself is super rich, right?
So good.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
a lot goes on.
the entire premise that it's like, I mean, this is also kind of fits into canon a little bit. Like, I mean,
could.
yeah, there's this like post Order 66 type of thing. Like the Jedi are all gone. Like the lightsaber is kind of extinct as a weapon. Like nobody has them, and that's sort of alluded to in Episode 4 too, right? So like, you know, it's just interesting at the fact that like a call could be sent out because we have lightsabers, right? You know, they're for sale. Come buy one. You know, like it's sick. Shipping unavailable.
Yeah, I love particularly the mythology that was added to this one too. Like we all are, but I have also a huge lover of crystal lore. We talk about that a ton. And like, my God, the saber smithing literally with the hammer, and then the fact that like, oh, it gets its color based on the wielder. What an awesome idea. So that moment when all the Sith turn on their lightsabers, I watched it again today, and that's maybe my favorite moment in the season.
Yeah,
that moment
same.
because the guy's like, oh, I'm blue, oh, I'm colorless, and like, we're all Sith. It's like,
I know. It's like, what the hell is happening? Like,
But also the moment where Kara locks blades with one of the Sith, and it literally turns from colorless to green. Like that's the
green.
moment
Yes.
she becomes like
Dude.
a full-fledged Jedi.
all right, it's a 10. I'm
so-
stupid.
it was-
Never mind. What am I talking about? That was dumb. Sorry about that.
There was just remember last episode I talked a lot about like how several of these stories just had these little twists and unexpected storytelling elements, and that was like this is kind of the episode I was kind of alluding to a lot, right? The colorless lightsaber because she's not quite strong enough with the Force. It was a freaking awesome idea. All right, that's like
So
one of the
cool.
coolest things I've ever seen, and like. The Jedi choosing the color is so sick. Like that's just such an interesting storytelling element that is obviously not a part of storytelling right now, right? It's not a part of canon, but that's such a clever spin-off of an interesting Star Wars idea. So
And like when the guy
all
goes from
talk
red to
about-
purple, and he goes like, "Oh, I see it. I see you changing literally by
Yes.
color. Like
Yeah.
it's so
And
cool."
'cause we've all talked about what color would your lightsaber be, right? But it's interesting to think that it's not even like necessarily just a
not up
choice.
to
It like
you.
literally reflects you. Like
Yes.
that's
One chooses the
Yeah.
wizard, son.
I know.
Get with it.
I love it. Yeah, that the whole red turn to purple thing was really cool too.
Yeah.
Like because
Was it?
what is it? I thought it was because then
That's
he,
why.
then they
That's
follow.
one of the
they
things
follow
where
up
I
with
did.
it.
Yeah.
They follow up with it because he asked him. He says, "I'm sorry, Master. I lost myself in the dark," or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro,
It's
what
funny,
a
though.
freaking
And
line.
It's
You
funny,
literally
though,
got
that
changed.
Ethan just picks himself up off the ground after getting like beat down by this guy.
Yes.
He's like, it's cool, man. Like, don't worry
Yeah,
about it. Your
no, I
lightsaber's
get it.
purple now. It's fine.
You're a big bird man. I understand.
Oh god.
My only qualm with this.
no,
and
shut up, Wes.
it
There's
happened-
no qualms. No qualms.
And it happened in another episode too. It's almost like they're relying too much upon the lightsaber to depict a Jedi. So like you're a Jedi because of your lightsaber, and it shouldn't
Yeah.
be that way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can
they-
see that. I guess.
They did, I mean, hold
It's
the
a stupid ass
lightsaber in
idea,
high
but I guess I
regard.
can see it.
It didn't leave my brain the entire time while I was watching it, but I really
man.
did like this one. I really did like this one.
I also want to call it something Blandface just put in the chat. One of the scenes that we haven't talked about is where that shows the animation in this one, how good
Yeah.
the motion was. That the speeder scene on the lake where they were sliding back and forth, like
Oh,
it's in
yeah.
the trailer, but when she jumps off and she keeps running, but is still moving backwards because the ice slick, like
Yeah.
just little things like that were so specifically great about this.
And didn't
I
she
got
do
a
the?
bit.
Oh, go ahead, Wes. Sorry.
I got a bit dizzy when they revolved the planet 180 degrees.
Oh yeah, that was a
whenever-
lot.
twice, and I was like, "Whoa, I need to
that
take a
was a
second."
lot.
This is the Disney ride.
Yeah,
But the speeder bike chase was another one of those things in it that just felt so
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like it.
That's
It
indoor,
was one
baby.
of the better speeder bike chases we've seen, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
period.
really
Yeah.
good.
And didn't she do the whole Return of the Jedi Luke thing where she like got off the bike and like chopped the front of it in
Yeah.
half, right? Where
And
they,
like
like,
Yeah.
slow motion too.
yes, that
Yeah.
was awesome. And also something else that we haven't mentioned yet is the droid. The droid,
the
guy
tea drinking,
was,
he's on his break.
that was so cool. I loved that. Stupid.
Yeah, I love that part.
It felt very Studio Ghibli to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Like having to interrupt this droids like every day. All the other droids are like dead. And they're just like sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
He's like, go
Also,
find someone
dude-
else. And they're like all literally
I'm on
in
my
pieces
break.
right here. Loved it.
Listen, dude, I am fiercely pro-union for droids. Take your break. That was not cool of her. Bring that up with your head. Make sure you file a grievance.
And the trebuchet grappling hooks that take like meteors
space?
out of the sky.
It was so
and then come
anime.
back in the atmosphere.
Incredible.
I mean, come on.
It was
This is awesome.
it was so anime. It was. This felt like the most. This felt like it hit the mark the closest for me of like, okay, let's take a Star Wars inspired anime and do something original and unique with it. This hit it. This is what was in my mind, like mind's eye in regards to this, because it feels just very much like the type of anime that I think I most enjoy, which is that sort of art form kind of Studio Ghibli type of anime, I think, right? Like I'm not
Yeah.
as crazy about some of the other stuff that we've seen, but this was like
Yeah.
right on the mark for me. I absolutely loved it.
With the incredible action too. I mean, once that saber battle started, and it just like the Margrave, the way that slicing happened, and just like it felt. I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima recently, and it felt like that very intentional slices. Like it was Star Wars in the way that there was a lot of saber swinging, but when there were kill shots, they were like full swings, and there was pauses and time shifted, and like just really, really cool stuff. And it is absolutely one that I could see them going back to being like, it ends with a Jedi Academy beginning. Like that's what's more Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
And the Margrave himself was super cool, and hiding in the droid was, I thought, a really
Excellent.
nice touch. And I got like
Very warm.
when the Margrave had his mask on, I almost felt like he was like a mixture of like Plo Koon and Ultron or something like that.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
it struck me.
Yeah.
It was a very evil mask
And-
too, right? Like there
Yeah,
was a lot
it
of
was.
a lot of debate
Did you
about
see-
who's a good guy or not.
His saber had like a circle cross,
little
guard,
halo.
like the full
Yeah.
hand guard,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
like
on
a
a fencing
kata-
sword or something
yeah.
like
Yep.
that, which we've never seen, I don't think. That's actually made of like the blade itself.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Another incredible
And then
design.
as you were saying, Eric was starting like a Jedi Academy or something. This episode to me felt the most like a pilot for
Yeah.
an actual TV series, because like
Yep.
the ending is a cliffhanger. They've assembled a new team and they've established this new goal. And then you end it with that slow motion team walk. The only thing missing was an explosion behind it.
For real.
It was so cool.
In a commercial for a fast food restaurant.
And then you get that switch where you see that the station is actually making a lightsaber blade into the sky, into the galaxy. Like, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I hope we get more. If nothing else, I think that'll turn. I think this one more than any others may have turned a lot of people onto anime as an art form, because
Yeah.
this is like what the stories can be. Loved
For
it.
sure. For sure.
All right, episode 6, complete tonal
Yeah.
shift.
Oof, man.
Yeah.
TOB1. This is by Science Saru. It features Kyle Chandler, Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights, as the voice of Mitaka, the Master. This is Astro Boy. It's a cybernetic boy who dreams of being a Jedi, discovers a dangerous truth about his creator. Do we have the poster brought up for this one? It is
let's
much
see
different in
here.
tone than the other one.
Let me put these. in the
It's
right
very
order here.
round. It's very joyous. Let's
we go. Here we
let's
go.
take a look. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the poster
Scary
looks
droid.
really cool.
Yeah. The poster
is a
does look
great
super
That's
poster.
a great poster, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That's it. It's got the lens flare. It's got almost like an OT, or more like a prequel, actually, kind of feeling to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prequel posters.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
You know-
let's were you gonna say something? I was before we go around.
I was just gonna say this was one that like I shockingly kind of enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, this is what was that? Do you remember that teenage? What was that teenage robot show that used to be on Nickelodeon?
My life as a teenage robot.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize that was the
My
name.
life as a teenage robot.
Yeah. This kind of
What is
has
it?
it kind of has those vibes a little bit, which like I enjoyed. I like this episode a lot. Are we gonna do ratings now?
Yeah, let's do rating. Corey started off.
Damn, I'm just kidding. I would give this one like a 7.5, 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.
All right, 8. Wes.
I'm gonna give this one a 6.4.
All right.
All right, screw you,
Charles.
Wes. All right, what, Charles?
I agree at 7.5 for me.
All right. I'm going straight 6 on this one.
I was too optimistic. I want to change my answer to 7.5.
All right. Yeah. I want to hear what you guys think about it. This was a tough one for me. Where like I think like objectively, the goal of this episode was 100% met. I think they made exactly the kind of short they wanted. I think the animation style fit the story. I think that for everything it was trying to do, they absolutely did it well, technically and creatively. Just didn't ring with me. The character, the animation style really wasn't quite what I was drawn to. And I think by the end of it, I was like, okay, yep, they told that. It's probably never one I'm going to revisit.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it was a fun story. It was a fun story to
Yeah.
see. They were given. I don't know if they were given a lot amount of time, but it was only like 11 minutes. So I mean, they didn't have a lot of time.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, it didn't resonate with me either. But it was a fun story just to see. I mean, who doesn't have 10 minutes? Just take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are two things that I really enjoyed about this episode, and one of them is the animation style. Actually, I mean, something weird about this animation style just felt very unique and weirdly different, I think, than anything else that we saw. Like,
Totally.
it didn't feel like it was trying really, really hard, a way that some of the other episodes felt. Like the Ronin episode, for example. Like, it felt like it was trying really hard to. Ooh, the art style was shocking.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't
Overly
that.
stylized,
Yes,
yeah.
this felt like just like a funny cartoon that we would watch as kids, right? I mean,
Yeah.
which I kind of liked. I mean, it was neat. It's barely
That
anime.
was the audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, the
Barely
audience.
anime. Kind of Avatar: Last Airbender a little bit. Like, kind of art style maybe kind of fit that a little bit. And the other
Because
thing
he's
that
bald.
Yes, that's exactly it. The other thing that I really liked about this episode was the theme about nature and like the research about restoring the
that was really
planet
good.
was very weirdly Jedi-like, which I think is maybe what they were kind of going for, because he's like not a
sure.
Jedi, but like,
But is he?
or is he?
On that
I mean,
note, easily my favorite scene of this entire thing was that time lapse after the professor dies and he's going around completing the research, and you see
The
the
life.
plant
Yeah,
grow in the
dude.
foreground
That was
and the
really
song
great.
in the background.
Right.
That
Beautiful
scene
moment.
actually really struck me.
yeah,
Yeah.
So so
really
he
nice.
he was playing around. He was told not to go into the basement or wherever the hell, and he went in there, played in that ship, got his master killed, or got his
Yes.
Yep.
just by
More or
going in
less,
there and
that
be
is
like,
what happened.
"Hey, any Jedi around?" Like,
Follow
we
the
got
rules.
one. Dead, killed his dad, just for just for going there and playing around.
I
so he
feel
could
like
bad for everybody.
I feel like the dad is kind of at you know, he's kind of responsible for his own death here, because like I feel like when the stakes are this high, perhaps like the instructions should have been something beyond, hey, don't go in the basement ever. Like, I mean, you know,
Maybe a
But
lot.
it's like
Hold on, to
every
be fair.
cartoon ever.
Yeah, but,
Don't
but
touch that red
should
button.
you have to say, hey, don't get on the comms and announce to the world, to the galaxy, that there maybe are
He didn't know
Jedi
what he was
here?
doing. Didn't know what he was doing. I do that every day. I ruin.
I will say this.
I'm going to
I
basements and
wonder-
people die all the time.
I wonder if people.
Well, like, it's hard?
I wonder if people who know Astro Boy, because again, I did not know Astro Boy until I heard that, oh, this was like supposed to be basically Astro Boy Star Wars. And I wonder if those people found this derivative or if they really enjoyed it because of all the callbacks. I looked it up after the fact, and I mean, in a lot of ways, it was like a 1-to-1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from what I've
For
heard.
Astro Boy. So I mean, this was almost like a love letter to Star Wars and Astro Boy, it seems.
Yeah,
weird.
which
I
is
don't
like, sure. I mean, like they get to like again. I think they set out to do that. I think it's done well. If that's your thing, you're gonna dig it. It's not your thing, you probably won't. But I applaud them for doing something so incredibly different, especially right on the heels of something like the Ninth Jedi. Like these could not be the more different, much less next to each other episodes.
Yeah.
Super
And-
solid choice.
I know that they didn't have it like broken out this way, but it's kind of like how we just did the first 4 episodes where we had the duel, and then we had Tatooine Rhapsody, 2 completely different ones.
Yeah.
And then we have the Ninth Jedi, and then we have TOBI or TOB1. Like they're completely different. So
The two
they
halves
never
kind
broken
of
out
start
that
the
way,
same
but
way.
it's coincidence. Coincidences are real.
Absolutely is. And of course, then this sequence does the exact same thing by making the 7th episode completely different yet again, because we get The Elder by Trigger, their second short of the series. This features David Harbour from Stranger Things as the Master Tajin. It features Jordan Fisher, who is Jordan Ambrose in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before movies, as Dan, and James Hong, who is just a legend of cinema. Look the dude up as the old man, who was also on This Week in Star Wars last week. So check out his interview. It was lovely. This one just says a Jedi and his Padawan pursue a dark and powerful presence, as this poster, this is exactly what the poster should be. This is 100% the episode.
Absolutely.
This looks like the cover to a PS2 game. 100%.
Oh my god! Yes.
Some kind of Soul Calibur meets Star Wars.
Yes, just exactly. It's the font for me, dude. That's what it does.
Yeah,
is that
the font. The font is. It's almost like Tumblr fan art too.
Yes,
With the font.
screams
That's
PlayStation
hilarious.
2, dude. So
Yeah, I dig
David
it.
Harbour, holy smokes, I didn't know that. You guys
Yeah.
know how much of a Stranger Things fan I am. Also, he was fantastic in Black Widow. Also, by the way,
I loved him, which is now on Disney Plus, not a sponsor.
That is right. That is right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love that. Charles, start us out with this one. 1 to 10 for The Elder.
Oh man, really high. I don't think it earns my perfect 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9.8.
Awesome, Wes.
I'm going to join Charles and also give it a 9.8.
Sick. Corey?
Sorry, that was terribly
That was
tough.
a high
missed
five,
it.
and that was rough.
Oh, that was even
Okay.
worse.
Well,
I
Put
was-
that for later.
I
I'll
think
quit
I,
staring at us.
I think I'll give this a 9.5.
I think I'll join Corey at 9.5. Really dug this
We
one.
can nail the high five. Ready?
Yep.
That was.
Oh
just as
no!
bad
You
as
hit me in
ours.
the boob.
Wow. All right.
Ah, get him!
Get your hand up under his shirt. All right, boys.
Our audio listeners right now are so done with this.
Love you guys.
Oh man! All right, so this one was pretty fun. I thought. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
classic Star Wars story.
Charles,
Pretty
what?
fun.
Yeah.
It was pretty
It's
fun.
a 9.5 for you. It's more than pretty fun. Okay. This
pretty
story
fun.
I really dug. I really dug this. I actually personally will say I dug this because I got a big Qui-Gon Obi-Wan vibe.
Yes.
Story. Whoa.
Right,
I got a big
10,000%.
Qui-Gon Obi-Wan vibe, and it's not just
got a
the Master's
huge
hair.
Vibe from one of the other shows. I was thinking.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
All right.
This was another one that I thought the music did a lot, like the moments of silence and then the moments of music that they had did a lot. The actual battle itself that they had, first of all, props to whoever was like, hey, can we make it in the middle of a rainstorm? Because that was the best we've seen it done since Tartakovsky's Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
for
Okay.
sure. For
Rain
sure.
on the saber, baby.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that entire battle was just insane. I loved it so much. And before I forget, I loved that the Elder, who needs a dentist super bad, by the way.
Oh my God! Come on.
Loved
Not
I
anymore.
wrote that
had
down. Yellow teeth.
his sabers were like scimitars. Like they were not the usual blades. They were like shorter swords,
Yeah, they were.
curved. Like it was it was crazy. It was
And
awesome.
the first thing I noticed when I saw this was the Master's. What is his name? Because I know Dan's
I
name.
don't know.
Everybody remembers his name.
I wrote it down. It is
Dan and Ethan are my favorite Jedi names ever.
Yeah, you have Master Tajin and Dan.
Yeah. Master Tajin's hair. His hair, fantastic. It's got a good poof to
Incredible.
it. And it
Yep.
did not flatten in the rain. I
He is
appreciated
responsible
that.
for
That's
the
the
whole deal,
Force.
so.
That's the Force.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the katanas from the katana lightsaber from the Elder were super cool. And then they had like right before he stabbed Dan, there was like a delay,
Damn.
and then it goes in.
Yeah.
And then I was also confused. Apparently, Dan lived from that for some reason.
We all thought he was dead, right?
The Force, man.
I know.
But if
But
Bell
yeah, that's-
Zettifar
Exactly. That's what I thought.
Alive, then Dan is alive.
I also
Man, that-
love that Tajin did my favorite lightsaber move that no one ever does, which is when you're locked, just turn it off and turn it on again. And, like, it's the best move. It's the
Yes.
best move.
Yes,
Can we-
that was sick.
Can we also talk about Dan? He literally says, "Better idea. Why don't we split up?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. Why would you ever?"
And he was
Never
so
a better
for
idea.
it. Like Tajin was so for it. He's like, yeah, I guess you can go out there. And he was like,
Yeah, I
no,
trust
man,
you.
that's not a good idea.
I trust
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
You've never
this-
been here
This
before.
Padawan obviously needs some more training because he's just chock full of stupid ass ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know what his problem. I don't know what his problem is. But, like, he just
I'll let him
doesn't.
get stabbed and
He
then
does
he'll
not
figure it
know
out.
how
You
to
know?
survive. I mean, if he's lucky that he survived this encounter, but the next one, I mean, he's screwed, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
Probably.
Also,
They're,
this villain, the old man, is one of the scariest villains ever in Star Wars.
Oh my God!
Something
The way they
about-
shot him?
Yes,
Ugh.
something about him
It's
was just.
the fact that his sclera are black, like, and he's got the yellow eyes. So helps me.
Sclera?
Yellow eyes.
yes.
Yeah, the
White part of our
the
eyes.
I was like, someone tell me what a sclera is.
Yeah, nobody telling.
But like
Can you
they
please
saw
sclarify?
Oh,
the-
so it's
they-
a girl house.
the people on the planet like took them to show them the ship, and it was like
Yeah.
that is 100% a Sith ship or at least a bad guy ship. It's all in black, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, what could this be? I don't know.
It's like a vanity plate on the black
Yeah.
on the back of it. It's like
One thing I also liked, I forgot. This is, yeah. This is not my original idea. Someone else was commenting about it, and I want to give credit, but I don't remember who it was. But they said that when Dan goes to the planet and he's like looking at the girls and like oohing and eyeing, it's fun because it's kind of like when Aang goes to Kyoshi Island in Avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also like not even so much a crush thing as much as like this is what Jedi are. Like if you haven't seen Jedi before, it's like, oh my God, it's a Jedi. Like, and I think that's one of the things we didn't get in any other episode because the Jedi are like hush hush and secret and stuff. And this one, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a celebrity coming to your planet. I'm like, that's really
the only
fun.
thing
We
they
don't
were
see that a lot.
missing was that guy that was like foaming at the mouth on Kyoshi Island. I love that guy so much. He's like, he's like, it's fantastic. They have no idea what we're talking about, but that's okay. I'm on your brainwave, all right?
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
To get back to this episode, though,
Yeah.
I do want to say the speech, or rather, like the conversation that the two Jedi had at the end was actually pretty deep.
Really
Like, they were
good.
talking about
Really
the
good.
impermanence of power, right? How the Elder never like realized that his power would fade.
Yep.
And how you have to wield power with kindness, because power is not meaningless just because it fades. You just have to wield it with kindness in mind. Like
Yeah.
that was probably the deepest moment in this entire Visions project.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agreed.
also-
He tells
also
him that he's
all the-
We
getting
love those
weaker.
talks.
Yeah, also
Yeah.
all the commentary just about that, like if I had fought him when he was at his prime, I probably would have been bested or whatever he
Yeah.
says, right? He's
And
like,
I love that honesty too. Like, hey man, no, like if you want to go down that path, the power is intense. Like Sith are,
Yeah.
are like at their peak gonna be more powerful, but we have to be better anyway. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's that Jedi stuff that we love so much, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
Because it
it
is
was
the
so
light.
good.
super rich, super rich.
Absolutely. All right, and then we go into two extraordinarily different episodes to end Visions. Episode 8, Lop and Ocho by Geno Studio, is about a force rabbit, and it says a family is torn about what to do when the Empire encroaches on their planet. Natural delivery, baby. But this poster isn't. This is the most anime poster, I think. It's like this is an Attack on Titan poster. You can't tell me otherwise. Like,
Totally looks like a movie poster.
Yeah, 100%.
I love this poster.
100%.
You know, like
So
you
good.
have your main character and then like the side characters all like around them. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's almost like Resistance Reborn cover art.
Oh, yeah, with
You know,
the
they have,
Poe
like,
was big.
Poe's-
Yeah. Yeah, this one was cool because it had the two time frames. It had the time jump from kind of like the first prequel scene to the main conflict. It had to do a lot with family lineage and talked about like, the found family stuff in Star Wars that we love so much. So a lot to give into with this one. Wes, I'll start with you. 1 to 10.
7.5.
Nice. Corey?
I'll give this one an 8.5, actually.
Nice. I will give this one an 8.5 as well. Charles?
I'm gonna say 7.2.
Nice. Yeah, this is the one I think that increased the most on rewatch for me. The
Interesting.
first time, I think it was just the look. Honestly, as much as I don't like to be this person, the look of the main character being like a literal like Leppy or whatever they were, like kind of. It took me a while to get into, which is ridiculous.
Is she
It's
supposed
Star
to be
Wars.
a Leppy? Is that like is she supposed
Not
to be what
officially.
Jackson
It's
is?
just another
I'm
rabbit
just
type
curious.
alien.
Okay.
But then the second time I got into the story of it with like the sister relationship and then the family relationship, and honestly, I'm a sucker for any kind of weaponry stuff. So the moment where he sits her down, takes out the family blade, shows them like that's just beautiful stuff right there. And I thought the choreography of the final fight was epic.
And on that note, when he's opening that lightsaber box, they did the animation to where it was in a bow. They opened the bow and then they undid the knot. Like in other like animation, they would just like do one quick like move away from that, and they did that extra step, which was the detail that I don't see a lot in animation before.
Yeah.
No,
Like
that's the
I thought that was
Ghibli
really
stuff
cool.
that I thought
Yeah.
when I saw it. Like whenever they make food and stuff in Studio Ghibli, like you see the slices of tomato and like that, like that
Yes.
stuff that made me think like, no,
Yeah.
we're
Food,
gonna
dude.
wait. We're gonna see the fibers of the rope fall apart, and
Yeah.
then the stillness of opening it, and then it's like. It's a light. This is the most reverence I found. Even though the Ninth Jedi was all about lightsabers, this was like it's a lightsaber, and it made me feel like seeing a lightsaber in A New Hope for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, like, I also rated this one pretty high. Like, it surprised me. I thought immediately when I saw the cover, I'm like, this is going to be kind of dumb. When I saw this in the trailer with the rabbit character, I didn't think I was going to like it. But, like, if you were to take the rabbit character alien out and just replace it with the normal person, I think we would rate this as one of the highest episodes because
I think that's right.
I mean the Empire
Maybe.
stuff is really rich. Like the whole like the father is working for the Empire and wants to stand up against the Empire was cool and felt realistic. He had one eye, which was sick. Like
It was such
it was
good
cool.
design.
I don't know.
Can we address the bunny in the room though? And the main character's eyepiece literally has a little carrot on the side. That bugged the crap out of me. Did you
What?
notice that?
I completely missed that.
It's there. Next time you watch it, when she turns in profile, there is a small orange carrot on the side of her eyepiece.
All right. Well,
And that
sorry
really-
everyone that enjoyed this
funny.
episode because now we all have to know that.
All right,
will
it's
say
a
full
2 for me.
transparency.
It's 2 for me now. All right, I'm bringing it back down.
Full transparency, I've only watched this one once. This and Akikiri I've only seen once. Every other one I've seen twice. This one, for whatever reason, did not land with me as much. I actually think the length of it played into that too. Like, I thought
20 minutes.
other ones told the same amount of story, or it felt as impactful to me at least, with significantly less time. This one's 20 minutes,
It was
which
pretty
is
long.
the longest one, I think. And
Yeah, that's fair.
and I don't know, though there were just little things about it that didn't quite land with me. Dude, when her sister bit her thumb and then put streaks of blood by her eye, first of all, gross. Second of all, then she pulled out an actual knife to cut her hair, and I was like, you
Yeah.
definitely could have used the knife to cut your thumb too. You didn't have to bite yourself, but
But also incredible makeup placement just by biting of the blood. That's hard to
was
do. It's hard to get those
perfectly
lines.
even.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And look-
well done.
It either stayed there the entire time or she does that every day because it was prevalent in the rest of the
True,
show.
that's true. Yeah.
I
You have to
also
use different.
noticed.
You got to use different fingers. Like if you have diabetes, you're always pricking your fingers. Like you get tough on one
That's
side,
it.
or you got to use different fingers. Right.
Yep.
So
Space
God.
Lancets.
So Yasuburo is the dad, right? I would like to see a origin story of him because of all the scars on his
Yeah.
body. Like
Yeah,
his
dude.
face is scarred up, his giant chest scar. He had like scars all over his arms, and I mean, he lost both of his eyes by the end of this. So I mean, that guy's been through some
Yeah.
stuff, and it'd
And
be
it's
pretty
got
cool
the
to like get
family
background.
blade. Yeah, and,
Right.
and I think that like that moment of when the sister jumps at her as she's over her dad and she ignites the blade. She's like, "This is the family sword. That's mine." And he literally says, "Inheritance has nothing to do with blood." And I'm like,
cool.
man, is there a more Star Wars sentiment
yeah.
than that? Because that's Obi-Wan teaching Luke. You know, that is Rey as a whole.
Rey.
Like it is literally them being like, no, this is such a huge thing. And I think that, you know, having all of these things about your family is who you are and what you believe and how good you are, like this guy to say, no, this has been passed down through generations. Now you're like, oh man, were they all blood, or has this just been people that they love and respect? And that moment of realization, I was like, oh yeah, that's That's the stuff, and I do agree, Corey. Though, like, had it not been the aesthetic of like a giant like rabbit person, which again by the end I think fades away. I think if it was just like kind of two more humanoid-looking people, that moment would have been one of the most intense in the whole saga. But
I want to
At
know
the
what
end,
I want to know
solid
what I want to know what
stuff.
Kevin Scott thinks about this, because I'm sure he's seen it, right? And him being such a
Of course.
what's that character's name again?
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah, such a Jackson the Rabbit, fan, and
Mm-hmm.
creator, I suppose. So
yeah, right.
This was probably Jose's favorite.
probably.
I'll have to ask him what he thought.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Jackson Hive.
I didn't see Lop being force sensitive until like the very end. The very
Yeah.
end is when she uses the force to bring that sai to her hand, and then she uses the lightsaber to to kill Ocho. But I didn't see that. I didn't see like, where is she force sensitive? What's this even about? Why is this even in here? It's like, oh, put it in at the very end.
There it
Make
is.
it all come together. I like it.
Yeah, definitely one I think that increases on rewatch.
Yeah.
For a bit, and then of course we get the last one. Very different animation style. But still a very traditional story with Akakiri. This is by Science Saru. It's their second. Couple fun facts. Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians was Tsubaki, and George Takei,
Wow.
Sulu himself,
I
crossed
did not
the
know
line
that.
as Senshu. With this incredibly cool poster, and it says the Jedi returns to his forbidden love to help her defend her kingdom from a Sith-like shogun. Let's go around our final out of tens. Corey, I'll start with you.
I'll give this one a 7.5.
With
9. 9.2.
Solid.
Sorry, I just increased it.
0.2, I dig
Nice.
it. Charles.
I think I'll give this one an 8.0.
All right, I'm gonna go 7.7. I think.
Okay.
Wes, give it a 9.2. Why'd you love this one?
I loved the ending. I loved how he sacrificed himself to the dark side to save the one that he loved. And I also, one of the things that really put this over the top for me was the music with the bongos and the drums, the hand drums the entire time. It's completely different than anything I've ever heard before, but it works so well in this one because like the speed of the drums would speed up the action would speed up when the speed of the drums would go, and then like it would slow down. You're like, okay, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? I think that they did that really, really well.
Yeah, the pacing. Yeah, they
Yes,
really
absolutely.
indicative of it. Great point.
Yeah, I mean, this one I'm actually having trouble remembering a little bit like now, and I wonder if I only saw this one once as well, and I wonder if rewatch would increase it for me, because I do remember walking away from the episode with like, wow, that was surprisingly good, but the animation style really bothered me. I did not like the animation.
It's very different. I'm in the same boat where I also only watched this one once, and I do think the story was interesting, but I was thrown a bit by the animation.
Yeah,
the
something about the
animation
shape of
actually-
their face and stuff has really bothered me.
It was
Something about the
odd
shape of your
shapes.
face bothers me. Go ahead, Charles.
Nice.
Ouch.
It actually weirdly this might land with y'all, it might not. It felt like a mixture of Samurai Jack and Star Wars Resistance. That was like kind of how the animation played
Interesting.
for me, which are very different.
I
but
can
it felt
totally
like
see a
kinda
Samurai
something-
Jack in it, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but to get at something that Wes said, why I think this story was surprisingly good for people is if you take a step back, it is like the core of Star Wars, of trying to stop fate, essentially trying to
that's
save
true.
someone you love from death, and in doing so directly causing it. Like, it's Darth Vader's story is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, for sure.
It's exactly that. He loses himself because he tried to save someone he loved. And
Ooh.
I really loved that.
Yeah.
And it just felt Star Wars. And the other thing probably that made it feel really authentically Star Wars to me was the guides, the two like peasants that guided them.
Yeah.
So Kurosawa Hidden Fortress.
That Hidden Fortress, dude.
Like, it was just so perfect.
Man.
I love that.
Also, if y'all listening or watching or honestly you're on this show, haven't seen Hidden Fortress, it's on HBO Max right now. It's the only Kurosawa movie I've ever seen so far. I just haven't sat down to watch them. If you just take the night, watch it, you will completely get why everyone's like, yeah, George Lucas just made Star Wars off of this.
It's so good.
So good. It holds up beautifully all these years later.
So the
Yeah.
guides, the guides. The fat one, Kamahachi,
Yep.
and the,
Oh,
the
yeah,
skinny
those
one
guys.
is
Forgot about those
Senshu.
characters.
Those
Always a
guys are
fat one and a
hilarious.
skinny one.
Yeah.
You know?
They were funny, and also the epitome of everything. has a
Laurel and
price.
Hardy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is. I mean, it really is one that I'm interested to go back on these, right? Because these all came out. Blind Faith makes a good point in the chat. He says, the problem with watching these straight through is by the time I got to this one, I was tired, and I'm like, yeah, same here. Like I watched them all throughout the day, and I was like, oh, it's the last one. Like, so that just kind of had that vibe. So I wonder, watching it kind of in a vacuum, if it's just the episode that might be interesting. And that's what I think was so fun about these shorts, as a whole, is that they are so short and also unique that you can just throw these on a lunch break or throw these on, in the morning while you're getting ready or something at any point and get through one. And so I wonder how over the years these will evolve. Because, I mean, Lord knows, as we've watched them films 18 quadrillion times,
Yeah.
I don't think about Phantom Menace the same way I thought about it last year, much less the way I thought about it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Those
And I
of you
think these shorts
watching
are gonna
this
evolve.
every Monday. You could have watched every episode in Visions in less time than this episode of The Living Force.
That's absolutely right.
Oh man.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people think about this one. But yeah, guys, you know what? Here, as we get to the end of this longer episode, and y'all in the chat, I've been loving everyone talking about what they love about these episodes. It's such a cool thing to share, because I know a lot of at least in my real life, the Star Wars fans, even that I know, haven't really watched Visions as much, because it's a little unique thing. So we're so glad we get to share this with you all. Let's go around and just give let's give our top 3. Doesn't have to be in order, and then give one that you're really excited to revisit, that maybe either you loved a lot or that you want to kind of appreciate more. Charles, put you on the spot.
So top 3 for me. Number 1 goes to the Ninth Jedi. Number 2 goes to the Elder, and number 3 goes to. I'm flipping it. Number 2 goes to the Village Bride. Number 3 goes to the Elder.
Excellent choices.
And then which one do I want to go back and appreciate more? I want to go back and watch probably Lop and Ocho, because you guys all seem to really like that one a lot more than me, and it's one I've only seen once. So I'd like to just kind of take the time to dig into that one some more.
Yeah,
Cool.
for sure.
Wes.
Okay, so number 1 for me is the twins. I'm just
You
kidding. That's not
lied.
it.
Stop.
All right. All
Like,
right.
all right, let's go with it.
Number 1 for me is probably the Elder. I really, really like that one. Number 2 is the Duel. The first one for the Ronin book is probably mimicking there a little bit. And 3 is Akakiri.
Love that.
Yeah, and speaking of the Akakiri, we didn't talk about it, but the guy was the Jedi was having visions of this horrible
Oh yeah.
something
Yeah,
that he's
that's a
going to be
good
doing
point.
throughout the entire thing, and then
Oh, yeah, I
finally
totally
it finally
forgot about that.
comes to fruition. That horrible thing that he's having these horrible headaches with and visions is that he's killed his wife or his love or
And there's
whatever
that
she is
scene
to
where
him.
he wakes up out
Yeah.
of his space bed and he doesn't have a space shirt on. Yep.
And his
Only one can
chest
do
is
that,
like,
buddy.
fucking
jeez.
jacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, just
It's so smooth.
He's just
Oh, my
smooth and
arms.
sweaty.
a bit
Woo, okay,
moist.
let's
Okay.
move on. All right.
And then no, the one
kidding.
the one that I need to revisit 100% is the Village Bride. I remember not giving that one as high a score as y'all did, and y'all got mad at me for it. But I do need to go back and revisit it because there's a lot of things that y'all were talking about that made a lot of sense. So need to go back and revisit that one. It's good.
I think my list is the same as Charles's. It's Ninth Jedi, Village Bride, and then Elder. Is that the same as yours? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. I mean, I want to watch the Ninth Jedi again just because I loved it so much.
Great, totally valid. I think I'm gonna go number 1, Village Bride. Number 2, Ninth Jedi, and number 3, The Duel. I think, because again, they're all incredible. Everything we've said about them, so many perfect 10s, so many just great Star Wars stories at their core. And I think I want to go back and revisit. I'm gonna say same as Charles, Lop and Ocho, and Akakiri. I'm gonna say both of those. I want to. Really, because frankly, those weren't ones I got to watch as much. And even though Lop and Ocho I liked better, I think I'm close to cracking it. You know, you can like feel it that it's gonna be elite. But Akakiri, based on everything you're saying, Wes, I'm like I can see all that in retrospect, and I want to give it that full time. So overall, very successful initiative, I think. You know, this is, who knows if we'll get more? It'd be cool, but I know we do get more of Ronin, again, coming out tomorrow. Can't wait to hear y'all's thoughts about that. Any last thoughts on Star Wars Visions, guys, before we get on out of here, before we get into the more realistic?
I just want it to be known that Tatooine Rhapsody was my number 4.
All right.
That's all.
That's a solid thing to say.
I hope that Disney and Star Wars does this again. They go out of their comfort zone and they give us, you know, they don't have to do 30-minute shows of a season and commit to like 2 or 3 seasons of a certain show. They can put out these 10, 15-minute shorts of something completely different to see what the audience likes, if it strikes a chord with people, if they like it, if they start talking about it.
The stakes are so
How
high.
cool?
Yeah, exactly.
How cool would it be to have a season 2 of this, like you alluded to at the top of the episode, Eric? But like where some of them are still new studios doing more new stories, but maybe a couple of them are like sequels from the same studios from this season. Like that'd be incredible.
One and
I
part
would love
2.
that.
Yeah, that would be sick.
The 10th
Yeah.
Jedi. I mean,
The 14th Jedi. Yeah.
Oh, they go like the 8th Jedi.
The
'cause somebody
eighth Jedi.
dies.
Oh my god! What the hell?
Nice.
I think Wes just did telepathy on me, guys. I'm like
I
disturbed
saw
right
it.
now.
I saw it.
Damn it!
Yeah.
How did that happen?
No.
That's what I was thinking. You
Corey,
No,
you
it
have
was
anything
my
original
thought.
to
It was
say?
my thought first.
my original. That's an original thought.
What's not an original thought is what I'm going to steal from the chat right now with Caleb and Endar. We're saying season 2 I'm also in favor of. Maybe it's those some non-Force users, maybe some smugglers things. I love the idea of new studios or the same studios with brand new stories. I think that maybe some of the beauty in the ones we love so much is that they're just their story. We're not going to get more. It's just the beautiful thing that it is. And I think that I myself need to get better at accepting that because I often think very far ahead. And sometimes I just need to be in the moment and love the thing. So very excited. If they do more of these, that'd be cool. But obviously before that, we know we're getting some very straightforward Star Wars with the Book of Boba Fett, with Kenobi, with Andor, and we're a little excited about those too. So those can live in the same world. Before we get out of here, last reminder, if somehow you're watching live right now and you didn't pre-order Ronin, I don't know if it's available right now, but if you're listening and if you can find it anywhere before the supply chain runs out, go pick it up and head to utini.com and the YouTube channel tomorrow for reviews on both and our interview with Emma Candon, the most incredible, fun, knowledgeable author in the world. She's phenomenal.
And like the video.
And like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell for whenever we go live. All right, I'm done showing. Let's do this thing, because that, my friends, will do it for this episode of The Living Force. If you support us on Patreon, we thank you so much for that. Thank you for getting us to 700 in our Attack of the Clones commentary. Stay tuned for the end of the month when we will be talking all about those sweet, sweet scenes with that amazing dialogue by the firelight. A special thank you goes out to Cheryl Bell, OK Endar, Earl Q, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sander on our Jedi High Council, and Elizabeth Cloutier, Jason Mitchell, Freddie C, and Sally and Chris Eilerson on our Alliance High Command. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Eric Eilerson, Corey is at Doc Star Wars MD, Charles is at C. Hankel, and Wes is at Boss Wes. A special thank you to Matt Davenport, who I hope you're enjoying your vacation, my friend, our amazing editor, Ryan, our graphic designer, and Wes, our producer and community manager. Thank you to Corey, Charles, and Wes for podcasting with me tonight. Thanks to all of you for watching and sharing your love of Star Wars Visions. And as always, may the Force be with you. Oh, yeah.